I'm setting up a chain of healthcare centers across India. So each center has everything ranging from an MRI machine to a pharmacy to a cafe to outpatient services, everything in a hospital minus the inpatient services and complex surgeries and such. So with that, I gave a detailed long prompt about how we want to accept paper service as well as managed care subscriptions. And I asked it to set up an architecture first in the planning mode. With that, it gave me that there are 4 apps that I need to have, one for each constituent, each stakeholder, one for the patient, one for the doctors, one for the non-medical staff, one for the admins, and it gave that as the basis. Then it gave a set of microservices that I need, and it even asked me prompts for how you can connect into the government databases, what type of payment you want to accept, whether Stripe or Razorpay, which is the India specific equivalent of Stripe and such. And as I answered the questions and such, it created 20 microservices. And as you go down, here are the 4 apps, and here are the phases in which it divided the microservices, that how I should build the entire enterprise app. First phase, build the foundation. Second phase, build the subscription engine. Third is the clinical core. Fourth is the operation, and then the scale. And then post that, it gave me the 20 microservices that I should build. And along with that, each one has a prompt, a build prompt that I could use to build those services. And I can show you very quickly. It gave me the subdomains already accessed here, so, and login credentials and such. So without verification, it wouldn't let me log in, and that is already built into the functionality, that it sends a clickable link when I enter my email address for sign up, and once that is verified, then I can log in into the account. As you can see, it has found allergies, other things, latest vitals, and so on. It has found a pretty comprehensive base, lightweight electronic health record system, subscription system, all the way from marketing to the entire patient journey. It even gave me marketing lead generation, all the way from that to following up with SMSs or WhatsApp, which is more popular in India, for patient outreach as well. And so I'm quite impressed with the app, and I did not think it would be able to build this complex an application, but I am positively surprised. Thank you.
So I guess give me a little background. Like, have you used coding agents before? Like, when did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, I have used coding agents before. And I'm of course frustrated with the pace at which the development happens with my current development team. I want them to do everything yesterday, and I keep pushing them to use vibe coding, others and such, and they're always dismissive about, oh, it cannot do this, it cannot do that, it has bugs, and so on. I understand that comes from job security, but that's when I thought, I'll test it out and see how good it is. And so now I'll through testing and see how well the app functions.
Cool. Question, judges, any questions? Judges in the back, any questions?
Yes, so it is our own appointment. So the question is, the book appointment, is it integrated with the hospitals and such, right? So I gave it a list of services that we offer, all the way from radiology, so MRI machine booking, to a resource like a doctor booking. And I asked it to create a calendar. It populated the database with mock data and created a book account, the booking app as well for our internal booking system and such. It developed the entire booking system from scratch.
Any other questions?
Just so all of this development, how much effort just to create all of this? Could you just tell the AI, okay, build this out? Or is there a lot? Do you think there'd be a lot of work?
So that is something I have to test it, but I'm blown away. You know, it took my developers. I have a team of about 50 developers back in India. It has taken them more than 6 months to build this level of functionality. Maybe it's more robust. I'll find out now once I start testing it. But I am blown away that what I could achieve in an hour beats the level that they've done probably in the last 6 months.
Is this just the front end build? Like, can you actually put the equipment and go through each of these?
Yeah, it has the database as well. So I once it got to a certain point, I ran out of credits. So then I signed up using our credits, and then it said, "Do you want us to connect with the Lovable Cloud?" I said, "Yes, please go ahead and do that." It created the database schema. You can go in and browse the database. Others can connect to that.
Awesome.
Just a question. So you said you have used WhatsApp numbers to connect to their database, right? Are you planning to use their other cards as well?
Yes.
Rather than WhatsApp?
Yes. So WhatsApp is for communication, Aadhaar card is for ID verification.
Yeah.
And so I did ask it, and it said, in the next phase, it can enable the OCR and the QR code detection so that it can look into the government database and do the Aadhaar card verification as well.
Yes, wonderful.
So for book an appointment, all the screens are already designed and the interactivity is
We'll
complete?
find out. Look at that.
He can show you after. We got to go to the next one.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have credits left, so I'm just gonna have to talk through the demo here. So we're gonna start up. We're pretty small, so we don't have anybody that does marketing. So what I did was created an AI-powered marketing lead. This is a subsection of it, so it's a tool that allows you to build a marketing campaign around an event or a trade show or anything that you'll be appearing in, or maybe really anything that you anything you plan to be at in the future to help boost lead generation. What we found is that success or failure at these events is decided weeks in advance through your marketing campaign. So what the app does, it allows you to put in the name of any event and then your company website, and it will scrape those two sources for information on how to best position your company, what messaging, themes, keywords to use, how to attract certain personas within each company. You can also upload light and dark backgrounds for your company because they will also help you generate graphics to promote on LinkedIn and socials, etc. So so once you put in these inputs, just kind of skip ahead. There's a human in the loop where you verify the proposed messaging, themes, and how your company fits into the interests of the conference or event, and the target personas you want to attract, tone of voice, etc. And then you hit generate marketing plan. Okay. Yeah, somehow I went from 80 credits to 0.
I think it's just AI balance, which is like the Gemini, not the build credits.
Gotcha. Okay. But what the output is essentially is a comprehensive strategy, multi-channel strategy that tells you exactly what copy to post on LinkedIn, what to send through email, visuals and graphics, as well as an execution checklist for 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out, etc., leading up to the event, during the event, and then post-event. So all of your marketing touch points, what they should say, and when to send them out. You can export it to a workflow management system like Monday or anything you want to assign and delegate. And also creates a pitch deck that you can run through at the event itself for a quick elevator pitch of your company. So this is something that at a small company often tends to get lost in the weeds, or maybe you don't have the skill set on the team. So this kind of takes all the manual work out of that process.
Awesome. Great. So, I mean, tell us a little bit about, have you used agentic coding platforms before?
Nope.
First time using it? Do you
Yeah.
have an engineering background?
Nope.
What surprised you the most?
I think the ability to build a front end, a working front end very easily and intuitively, that kind of seems to know like where, what good human-centric design looks like. I had to do very little tweaking, editing for it to decide how people should digest this information. So that was pretty cool.
Awesome. Judges, any questions?
So for the conference brief output that you have here, did you have to kind of guide Lovable in terms of the structure that you have here, or is that something just that Lovable just came up with?
Nope. All I put in was the conference name, company name, and then it came up with the structure of the strategy and the wireframe you see here. Any other questions?
Yeah, we have time for more questions. Any from the audience? Yeah.
If you had more credits, what would the Excel features include?
I think the next set of features would be integration into a CRM type platform. So as you get a CRM and then also SEO. So as you get results back from your marketing campaign, you can track what's successful, what's not, and then capture information from those leads. So.
Audience, any questions? All right, awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, my name is Isaac. A couple of months ago, I started a private equity firm, mostly focused on real estate. And since then, I've been building tools to make the lives of both investors and players in the real estate space be easier. One of them is property management. Right now, it's super manual work. Every part of it is manual. I'm just going to use a typical example. A tenant has a leak in their toilet and they need it fixed. They usually call the property manager, who first has to take the call and then remember to take note of what happened and then maybe put it in some system, and then at some point triage that to a contractor who would show up and fix it. Maybe he fixes part of it, but not the others, or maybe he found more issues. All of these manual and involves lots of touch points. And I decided to just build this to automate all of that, literally all of it. From taking the call to triaging and all of that stuff. And I'm going to show you what this looks like in real life. So, I did not set up Twilio for the actual call, but pretend that this is a call from a phone and it's calling my number.
Warmly. Hello, you've reached none. My user is currently unavailable, but I'm Echo, their virtual assistant. How may I help you today?
I'm having a really bad leak in my bathroom, and I would like someone to come take a look at it and fix it immediately.
Oh dear, a leak in their bathroom sounds urgent. I can certainly take a message for my user and let them know about this. Could you please tell me your name and a phone number where they can reach you? I'll make sure to emphasize the urgency of the situation.
My name is Isaac, and you can reach me on 123456.
Thank you, Isaac. So that's Isaac, and the number is 123456. I'll make sure to pass this urgent message about the leak to my user right away. Is there anything else I can help you with at the moment?
That'll be all for now. Thank you.
You're most welcome, Isaac. My user will get back to you as soon as possible regarding the leak. Have a good day.
Okay, all the my user and feelers, you can tell this is a demo, but of course, a more refined version would take care of that automatically. So it's transcribed all the calls, it's identified the issues. Of course, one of the areas I needed to improve was actually doing the matching to the actual tenant, and then automating the creation of the work order itself. But all of this gets done, if I had a bit more time, automatically, and the issues are captured. I can actually, as a property manager, either automate the process of assigning it to a contractor, but sometimes, if I build this in real life, I want that to be managed manually, maybe. But it gets assigned, and then that's it. I can follow up with the contractor. They can log back finished work and all of that stuff.
Cool. Awesome. So, have you used agentic coding tools before? Kind of what's your background?
I have.
Yeah. What other ones have you used before?
Mostly this kind of situations where I'm trying to solve something, no matter how mundane, and I'm like, okay, maybe Claude can fix this for me, and then I just go build it.
Cool. What did you use for the voice of your application?
So 11 Labs has a voice integration. This was all Lovable's idea. I just put the prompt, this is what I want to do, and it's like, oh, you need to go sign up in 11 Labs and then get this API key and then bring it here. And, spend a little bit of 10 minutes, but I got all the things needed and it wired it up for me.
Cool. Judges, any questions?
How do you find Lovable relative to the other coding agents used before? How would you do the comparison?
At this point, I feel like they're all starting to converge, to be honest, because I've used them quite a bit. Lovable definitely is very good at a lot of that front-end work, like the designs and whatnot. And also because I had live feedback right in the browser, it was a little bit easier, but in general, I think, they're all very capable and they blow me away every time I use them. Yeah, if I had a bit more time, I'll definitely do Twilio because obviously they're going to be calling an actual phone number and not, not like doing this on the browser. And then maybe at some point also the property management platform itself, because most property managers probably have a platform that actually have the records of the tenants and they track all of this, so that integration I need to have.
Did you think about using Thumbtack to integrating with Thumbtack so it can just automatically choose the contractor for you and then you can streamline the whole thing?
Yeah, probably, but usually property managers have a preferred list of contractors they've already vetted, so it's not a random guy because this costs money.
Sure.
And that is usually managed in the property management software.
Cool. Inside.
All right, thank you.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Zoe Mosher. I'm from a non-technical background, usually work in strategy operations, a lot of consumer retail companies, startups. This is born out of an idea that my husband and I had probably 10 or 15 years ago when we were young, not married, no kids, but struggling to figure out what to cook for dinner. So I'm sure it's a pretty common problem a lot of you face as well. You end up making the same 3-4 things over and over again or ordering Pagliacci's. So we said, how can we solve that? How can we make it easier for people to figure out what's good for dinner, create some variety, try new things without forcing a lot of shopping and searching for recipes online. So thus is born Mortar and Root. Thank you, Lovable, for that name, which is a weekly ritual of spices and could turn into a defensible food brand. So this is all from Lovable, but some stats to kind of kick it off is just that there's a huge global market for at-home meal kits. A lot of it includes everything under the kitchen sink, right? You have your spices, but you also have chicken and you have tofu and you have produce. It's a huge market, but a lot of people churn very quickly. That said, more than 2/3 of all households say they want to cook more and they want to learn how to cook from different regions, but they don't know how to do that, or they don't have all the right spices on hand. So I think that this is a really great opportunity to lean into those unique global spices that come at a very low COG with a huge opportunity where your gross margins could be in excess of 70%. So the business model is that there would be different plans, so similar to your Blue Aprons, HelloFreshes of the world. For people that just want to start out, you can get 1 meal a week. You could start with 3, or you could go up to 5 for people that really have no idea what to cook. And you can see some of the unit economics on the side, just talking about, again, those low COGS, but also thinking about fulfillment and other things that would enable you to break even based on an assumed kind of cap or ability to acquire new customers. And your LTV could be in excess of $600 over time. So if we model out what that could look like in the first 18 months, we anticipate we could get to 31,000 customers by first quarter of next year if we're able to secure funding to start hiring a team and do some brand marketing, performance marketing in order to build that out. So I know you guys want to see what this is like. So this is the website that Lovable helped me to build for Mortar and Root. So you can see I was very impressed with the visuals that came along with it to really showcase the spices as the primary ingredient that you are getting as a service here, in addition to the recipe cards, some really compelling food photography in there, a CTA around starting your subscription right away, some interesting stats about this is helpful, it creates no food waste, all of those things, and just like how it works, right? We give you the spices, you grab the protein, and you cook it. So really excited. Hopefully this is exciting to you guys too. And I was very impressed by Lovable's ability to create a very compelling website very quickly.
Awesome. So have you used Lovable for other coding platforms?
Literally just one other time with Lovable. I subscribed to a couple of different AI newsletters, and it was like, oh, just type in a business idea and create a website. So I did that once and then never again. I played around with a couple other websites, less on the coding side, more on just like the agent side.
So did you use like Gemini's like Nano Banana essentially to create these?
No, I actually didn't even prompt it. I said, you know, create a site that looks similar to a service like Blueprint and HelloFresh with compelling imagery, but I was not overly specific, and I was very impressed by the color scheme and some of the graphics it came up with.
And the numbers in the presentation kind of all made up, or did it do research for you?
I think it did do research for me. I literally said, once I created the site, I was like, create a 5-point PowerPoint deck for a business plan and potential growth plan. And I was like, wow, I spent many years as a consultant for Bain, and that would have taken many days to pull up that information. Yeah, I mean, you would need to validate it before you present it in front of an actual investor audience. But the formatting of it, and I think, you know, hopefully there's some sources that could link it back to.
Passes the sniff test as much as any other consulting does.
I mean, consulting, you can come up with any market size you want. I'll tell you that.
Judges, any questions?
Yes.
So I guess question is, when you when you put in your prompt on your level, do you actually have to tell it what features to build, or do you just give it like an overall theme or a general idea?
I gave it a very general theme. That is why I am actually quite blown away. So you can see here, this is what I typed. Literally, create an app or landing page about a subscription business similar to Blueprint and HelloFresh that offers weekly meal planning ideas to recipes, spice-based packets that are mailed to the customer weekly. This is what I put in, and then it gave me some clarifying questions around like the look and feel, do you like this name? And then I made some adjustments to the different meal plan options, but a lot of this they did on their own, which I was super impressed by.
I have one question. Did you give it any pointers for the research, the numbers that it came up with? Was it Lenny's podcast data or some other data?
I mean, I had loaded Lenny's podcast data in an earlier search when we were doing the Lovable demo, but I didn't point it to that research. So I'm actually not sure, and I would want to spend some time validating into the numbers before presenting that to a real audience.
Audience, any questions?
Are these like real photos that are being pulled from like?
I don't even know. I mean, maybe that's a question for you. I was like, these are beautiful. I was like, I want this.
Have you stolen this
How do I
from
find
somebody
that?
else,
Go
or
to
is it
plan.
new?
Go to plan.
Is it ID package?
Down here?
Yeah, plan.
Okay.
And ask it, like, where did these photos come from?
Yeah, and then just say, change the chicken to steak. And
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's see.
I do want to say, I worked on a second one after this. It was about like outfit styling, and it did, I saw on the plan, it said like generate images from Nano Vanilla, so I'm assuming
Okay,
it's probably
so then
something
that's
similar.
probably where
Yeah.
we can see.
Chart
use
eggplant.
something as a base and then change it.
What is SRC asset?
It's just looking at the
Oh,
file.
source.
Like, it's basically looking at all the images they created.
They're AI generated.
Yeah, so basically, like, use
Yeah.
Lovable AI to
Not
use
real
Nano Banana
food.
and generate,
Yeah. So it looks pretty delicious, right? I'm like, maybe food is gonna need AI before humans.
It's trained on all of the like food porn from Instagram. And everything.
Oh, there we go. Pinterest and the like.
All right, awesome.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
So I did this on an iPad. And my name's Keith, and I'm retired, and I've never done anything with AI, and just thought I'd come tonight. A friend and I had beers a couple weeks ago, and he said, you should try vibe coding. And I didn't know what that was, and this event came up in my email, and I said, well, I'll give it a try. And so I drive around the country in an RV periodically, and it doesn't do very well going up hills, and it doesn't do very well at all going down hills because the brakes smoke. So I said, build me an app that gives me distance between 2 points, route me between 2 points that have a low grade, less than 5%. If you can't do that, tell me how long I've got to drive on a hill. And it went out and it found several databases. It asked me, which one do you want to use for elevation data? And I said, I have no clue. And it said, well, I'll choose. And it did. I had to log into that, got a free API key, and I get like 200 queries a day. But you can type in two cities. It's happened to be in Utah, and it will route you between the two cities, give you the distance, the time, and it has a problem with the grade right now.
That's right.
I didn't have time to fix that, but we asked it why it was doing that, and it said, no, but exactly, and it said it takes the data in short increments, and so it can have a very high grade in a very, like over a meter or so, and you can limit that. And I just didn't have time to implement all that, and so I was just really impressed that it could. I didn't tell it to draw a map, but it did a map. It gives other two cities. It gave me alternatives: route A, route B, gives distance, and I think it's going to be useful to me. And I'm really impressed that it could do this in an hour. I had no idea that this would be possible.
Very cool. I mean, have you ever done any kind of coding or making an app before?
I used to program in Fortran and BASIC about 50 years ago. But no, I haven't done anything in recent years and stuff.
So how is this experience versus that?
Punch cards were.
Yeah.
They were, especially when you drop them. What would take 6 months took an hour. And the thing that really impressed me was when I asked the question, I had no idea where to get the elevation data from and where to get the steepness of the grades. And I didn't even have to know that. It figured out where to get it from and how to calculate it and where to get the map from. It's just, I'm stunned.
And you did it all on an iPad?
Yeah.
Cool. Questions, judges, audience?
Oh.
You didn't forget to mention how many credits you use for this.
About 6.5 credits.
Yeah.
How much does that cost?
$25 a month for 100.
I got 100 free tonight, so
In the real world.
What?
In the real world, what would that have cost? $5.
No, I mean, it's less than $1.
So it's $1.50. He spent $1.50, $1.70.
How much?
Spent about $1.70.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. And
I
do want to thank
97% grade. So,
and I do want to thank my mentor who helped me figure out how to put the key in and everything, link to the database, etc. So,
where are you going next?
Very steep.
we just got back from 5 weeks down to Utah, so we'll take a little break for a bit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, my name is Japiz. No tech background, didn't even know things like these existed before today. So my idea is IdeaForge. You can try it. Go to myideaforge.lovable.app. It's really an idea validator for everything you've seen so far today. What it does is, most ideas die without the benefit of what's happening here today. Good feedback, help develop them. So this is just like essentially a workflow where you prompt what you're thinking about, and within 90 seconds it gives you market validation, product visuals, slide decks, matches you with investors, with template for cold outreach, and creates a work plan. Like weekly, week 1 do this, week 10 you should be doing that. Like even tactical stuff like, do you need a website? Do you need a founder's agreement? So it takes you through a journey for folks who may not be privy to it. Honestly, the easiest way is to just show you. See it. So I won't pick on any of the ideas you've seen so far. I think they were all awesome. But in our group, one very talented guy had an idea. Let's say optimize supply chain with AI. And I hope you don't mind me using it. I think it's a great concept. The target audience is supply chain managers, let's say, and it's in the United States. Problem you're solving: reduce supply chain cost. Let's just validate this. Let's just see what it says. Better work.
Is using the Lenny's data or like?
No, so the bot said use Lenny's data or don't, and I was like, let's go with something else, and it came up with this. So 52 score is not bad. There's a lot in here to unpack, but it breaks it down for you. Market size, positioning, competitive landscape. You can click if you like it so far. It'll build a pitch deck for you, a standard 10-slide pitch deck. At least hopefully it gives you a starting point. It'll help you find investors that are thematically aligned using the open internet. It'll tell you a little bit about those investors. It'll give you a template email for cold outreach. If you're kind of like me, need help organizing your thoughts, it'll build you a basic work plan. It'll ask you if you want it weekly, monthly. Are you a solo founder? Do you have co-founders, a team? Once you specify, it generates a very tactical workflow, a work plan, just to keep you, it's an accountability buddy to take you through all this way. And then the last thing you can, and see, it gives you tactical stuff like, do you need an NDA template, a founder's agreement, stuff like that. And then you can even choose to generate visuals. This is where I ran into a thing. It's flagged this as a security risk because if I had let not allowed for authentication, they would burn through all of my tokens. So it's currently working off my Gmail password, but that's my time. So there you go. You're welcome to use it.
We're ready to announce our winner. Drum roll, please. Isaac with Property Management.
Feel the spark, let it glow. Ideas rising, watch 'em